So before I found Seek to Do More program and started that, I was at a stage in my life where I had just ended a 10-year relationship and I was in the midst of trying to find myself again. I had gained substantial weight. I had stopped doing things that I love, and I didn't find myself being very active, being very social, and just all in all doing things that I used to find joy in. So knowing James and who he was based off of his podcast and his adventures, it wasn't hard for me to find the Seek to Do More program, look into it, and just kind of start it. And I was at the point where I was almost embarrassed by myself, didn't want to be around people. So I actually started the program without him knowing. And within 30 days, I found myself hiking more, running more, uh, reading, learning things, starting projects I had sitting around. And it was really Seek to Do More that brought out a whole nother side of me, the more adventurous side. And on day 30, I decided to go hike Giant Mountain by myself to just prove that I had it in me and that I was making progress in my life again. I sought out the Seek to Do More program to build more confidence and kind of guide me in a way that would lead me down a road of things I was still interested in and bringing those hobbies and everything back. And over the past few years, I had found myself not camping as much, hiking as much, and all of that. So with the Seek to Do More program, I actually focused in a little bit actually on survival skills, fire making. I consider to be more of a specialty of mine, learning the proper use of knives and setting up a camp alone as a female, and also just conditioning myself to be in a situation that I felt confident if I didn't need to be, or if I needed to be, and also just regaining back that confidence to know that if I wanted to go hike something more difficult or sign up for a race again or anything of that nature, I knew I could. The biggest challenges I had when starting to Seek to Do More was actually staying constant and finding a groove that worked for me and being regular with my diet and my exercise, and just knowing that there was time in the day for things that I needed to do instead of having the excuse that I was always busy and finding myself in front of the TV. And funny enough, with the Seek to Do More program, I found myself cooking more, experimenting more with just vegetables and meat in general. And honestly, there came a point where 2 months had gone by and I didn't find myself in front of the TV at all and realized I had never turned it on because I was out walking again for the day, coming up with a routine with exercise. Because I go to work a little bit early, so I did make it more of a habit of when I came home. That's what I would do is change. My clothes would be laid out, and then I'd go for that run. I'd lift the weights. I'd take my dog for an extra walk if I didn't feel like doing anything strenuous that day. And I always made it a priority to cook for myself and really just get in the habit of having healthier snacks to pack for lunch, not ordering out, and just getting in that routine and realizing that friends and family might not do it, but it was fine for me to have that life pattern and those goals and to really hone in on it on my own. The Seek to Do More program, I really hope to accomplish just finding myself again and really just being more confident as a female, knowing that I would be out in the woods or doing activities more on myself and knowing that was okay and learning to do those things again on my own and having more of a skill set and actually a calmer mind and more patience while doing it, to know that if there was ever a situation, I could calm myself, think rationally, and just do it. And one of the goals was to prove that I could camp, I could hike alone. And that's actually when in August, I finished the Northville Placid Trail on my own, which was a huge accomplishment because that's actually one of the more remote places in the Adirondacks, is toward the end heading into Lake Placid. So to be able to stay out there on my own and then just finish it and go was pretty amazing. And it was actually one of the safest nights I ever felt in my life, being out there by myself. Seek to Do More had a very big influence on me getting to my goals. with a program that allowed you to write out everything every day of what you were doing to stay focused. There was a community you could always rely on to ask questions, or if you just were struggling to kind of put it out there. And James was always there if you had any questions, available via social media, email, whatever you needed. And it was just a very well guided, very explained program. And there was no strict one way to go, one diet to follow, one exercise regimen. It was whatever fit your life, whatever hobbies you were interested in, which also made it more appealing because you could just do it on your own. And some of the people I've met in there are heavy weightlifters. Some like to cycle. I myself like to run and hike. So it was just interesting seeing everybody and just knowing that you were all coming from different stories and backgrounds, which really also helped to encourage yourself and them along the way. So one of the big light bulb moments with the Seek to Do More program that I noticed about myself was actually the fact that during the summer, I will camp with friends and family, and I found myself awake in the morning way ahead of people struggling to get up, people just lounging around still on their phones or just laying around for a good portion of the morning until about 10 to noon, depending on who it was. And it's the light bulb moment was when I found myself already up, maybe going for a trail run, finding something around there, breakfast prepped, done everything, and just kind of getting on with my day. And even to this day, I still notice it with people, the struggle to get out of bed, then going straight to maybe a TV or video games, where I find myself with a list of books I've already read for the year, things I've already done maybe by 9 o'clock in the morning, and just really seeing how much I can get done without overwhelming myself, but more so making it a daily habit and just a routine in life in general. So before starting Seek to Do More, I actually did have a little bit of a hesitation, but it was more on my end because, of course, throughout years, there's been many programs, diets, different like apps you use to try to better yourself, and they always fall flat. You never stay consistent with it. And with the Seek to Do More, the reading material about the program isn't lengthy. You see other people's stories, and it's just simple to read, simple to understand what you'll be expected of you if you'd say every day, and just the basic things you need to do in life that you should be doing, that are reading 5 pages or just going for a walk, something like that. Just reading all that information and realizing that it's literally asking the basics of you every day, and that you can do what you want. It's not anything particular you need to do, is what made me really just jump into it and give it a go, because it was on my terms while following a program. So with Seek to Do More, I really found that I found myself really, and that I just started building such a pattern in life, and it's just an easy thing that you don't even think about anymore. It's just a program that once your 30 days are up, it just continues. There's no turning back from it, and it's just really been a great key aspect of my life of really getting me back to where I wanted to be. And one of the biggest benefits from it was actually probably the community that I found through it, and the people I've met that I now consider friends and I talk to daily. And just watching their journey, knowing that you have the support group that cheers you on regardless of what's going on, always supporting you, answering questions, is really what's helpful, because seeing other people cheer people on, even if they're ahead of you or behind you or whatever, is just amazing in itself. And it's really what makes you want to keep showing up, because you also want to show up for those people as well, not just yourself. And it really just ties everybody together and brings out a whole nother perspective in life to yourself, besides of everything you've already gained mentally, physically, and emotionally from the program. The aspects that I found to be most beneficial were the reading, the education, and the protein. Protein intake, still hard some days, but it's definitely something I've focused on and really kind of helped me build a better regimen for myself for eating and just planning out a week ahead. And then the education actually brought back some like my family ties to like Russia and stuff. I started learning Russian again, and also just getting projects done around the house with education about um, cutting angles, using different tools, things like that, and really just building that up by myself. And then, of course, reading. I have so many books, and they just sat there in a pile of books I needed to read, and I really flew about through about 13 of them last year, and I'm already on number two this year, and it just learning about what's out there in the world now, more modern books, and kind of learning what's going on all over and getting all that back together and finding hobbies again that I had lost over the years. So I would definitely recommend the Seek to Do More program. And if anybody had ever asked me about the program, I would tell them to at least give it 2 weeks. Allow yourself to adjust to what is being asked of you and just know that I'm proof, and there's so many other people who have run the program that are proof that you can change. The program has really got me to where I am today, and that's what I will always tell people. And that if you just put in the work, put in the time, you can see the change too. It's gradual, but it will become a habit, which then becomes hobbies. And I don't even find the list being something you really need to check off every day as so much as, oh, it's time to read or it's time to go do this. And I actually enjoy doing all of it on a daily basis. And just allow yourself to fall into that routine, give it a try. And, sometimes you might have to figure some things out, but you'll eventually get down what you need to get down in order to make things happen and to see the change in yourself. If you're ever on the fence about doing Seek to Do More, I would just tell you to do it, because you'll never regret the time you put into this program, where you'll never know if you didn't give it a try. And it's the most basic program that you can get that will give you the biggest bang for your buck without making you go out where you have to be at a gym or you have to be doing this certain diet where you don't even know what those foods or food groups or anything are. And it's just something that you can really tailor to your life, your style. If you have a family, no family, you're on the go, you're not on the go. It's just such a simple way to change your life and your habits and to really see how far you can go in such a short amount of time.